Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of Sport Talk. I'm your host Evan, and today I'm joined by Zach, Lucas, and our new guest Chase. And today we are going to be talking about the NBA and basketball stuff. But before we start, make sure to subscribe and like this video and to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at sport.talk podcast. And on the docket today, we're talking about KD's Ultimatum, LeBron's Lakers meeting, and the Dream Team versus the 2012 Olympic team. So we'll get right into it with the first topic. So KD, a couple days ago, had a meeting with the owner, and he told them that they had to choose between general manager Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash or him, which I can't remember any player saying that they basically have to choose between ownership and him, which is interesting. And as of right now, the top trade destinations are the Celtics, Sixers, Raptors, and Heat. But there hasn't really been anything kind of going on at all because their packages are massive. So
egregious.
So, yeah, I mean, that's basically the whole situation. So, Lucas, what are your thoughts on KD's situation down there in Brooklyn?
Well, I don't think he should play for them anymore due to the burned bridges he's caused.
Yeah.
But I don't see him getting traded to very many teams. The only teams in this list I can see him being traded to is either the Sixers or the Heat, because they're the only team that has packages to be able to keep their better players and get rid of some role guys. Like the Sixers could get rid of Maxey and young guys.
Do you think the Nets would accept that, though, considering the other trades they've been demanding? Like with the Celtics, where they're asking for literally their entire starting lineup?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to realize that KD's not worth that much. I mean, he's not a winner. He's just a good basketball player.
He's not in his prime right now.
No, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, from the Nets standpoint, it seems like they're demanding quite a hefty sum.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why they're demanding that, because what has he done them? When you go with the Celtics, they were like, why would you take away our two best players when they've led us to the finals?
Yeah.
And
true.
The last time KD was in the finals was with Curry and the Warriors.
Exactly. Yeah. The only time he's ever made the finals was when Prime Westbrook and him and James Harden and the unreal best team ever Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know if you really count that. But.
So, and when he's by himself, as you can see with the Nets, even with another two superstars,
Two,
he couldn't get past the first, second round. I mean,
they got swept by the Celtics.
Them and the Nuggets got the same. I mean, Nikola Jokic is a fat center, and he, you know what I mean. So
continuing the Jokic slander.
Jokic slander's crazy.
What do you think of the coach though? Is that
Steve Nash?
Is that on him he had he had three superstars and didn't make it past the first round of the playoffs.
I've said it before. I still don't think Steve Nash is a great coach, and I think it was the wrong hire. But I feel like it's hard to pin all the blame on him when you dealt with Harden immediately asking for a trade request pretty much a season after. Kyrie and his whole situation last year not playing, and then obviously KD right now. It's some of the stuff are out of Steve Nash's control, but on the winning side, I do think that he has some part to blame. But Lucas, as a Sixers fan, would you be willing to are you on board at getting KD? Or are you sticking with the team you have now with Embiid, Harden, and Maxey and those types of guys?
Well, they're not going to take Harden back, obviously.
No.
So we have Harden and Embiid, and if I'd be willing to give up Tobias Harris and Maxey, and a couple picks for KD, because then you don't have any problems with having a lot of small forward, power forward type players, and you already have Harden, who's mainly become a passer now.
Yeah.
And then
he can play the guard.
Exactly. So you got a good guard, an unreal small forward, and an unreal center. So I think if you're willing to do that, I mean, you're getting rid of Thibault, who can get you 10 a game, but I mean, he's a really good defender, obviously.
Yeah.
And Maxey could be a superstar.
Yeah, he could.
But if you're in the win now moment, which you should be, because Joel Embiid's literally a walking injury. So while he's healthy, you need to win and he's in his prime. So the next 2 years are the years they need to win, because they're not going to win after these next 2 years.
Right.
So that's what I have to say about that. And I think that they need to keep the GM for the Nets.
Yeah,
because
Sean Marks.
Obviously he's really good because of the team they had before they had Kyrie and KD. They made the playoffs with Jared Dudley.
Yeah, they did do that.
Yeah. So Chase, as a Celtics fan, what do you think about potentially getting KD? Because there's been a lot of Celtics rumors lately of Jaylen Brown and all those types of guys, and I know they just swept them and came off a finals appearance. So just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I saw like the main trade rumor was like Smart and then like Brown and Derek White and then like 2 first-round picks or whatever picks it was. And I was thinking like might be too much. Like KD, he's a great player, and like I don't know how he would fit with Tatum. Like obviously he's gonna score the ball, but like I don't know if we can give away our D-boy. And
2 best.
Jaylen Brown,
defenders.
up and coming, like he was an all-star last year, and also Derek White. He was all right during the playoffs. He was a little role player, but I think it's just too much, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen because I don't think KD is going to get traded anytime soon, just because there hasn't really been any traction on that. But I did hear something interesting that they said, because obviously the Celtics have been heavy rumors the last couple of weeks. Yeah. They said, let's say, trade deadline, they're the 5th seed. They would probably be more open to get KD just to push him over, because but as of right now, I don't think they should. They just came off a finals berth, and they have 2 of the best young players in the NBA. I think they're sitting pretty with where they are right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Tatum and KD would play good, like what Chase said, would play good together at all. Yeah. They're the exact same player.
They are.
Yeah, both
the exact same. Exactly. So I think the team the Celtics have now is perfect, especially with the way that Brown and Tatum play together.
And they just added Brogdon too.
Yeah,
Brogdon. Yeah, I think because Brown and Tatum they're starting to click too. As a little duo, they weren't doing that before. And also I think the Celtics they need to focus on getting those role players. They did really good with Brogdon. And Brogdon's a really good player. They needed that guard, that other guard than Smart. So I think they need to focus on more of the other players, because Pritchard and Derek White and Grant Williams, those dudes folded in the finals so hard.
Yeah, they were real rough.
Yeah, and if they with the team they have now with Brogdon, they have a legit guard, and they have a defensive guard. So you can put Smart on the team's best player, and you don't have to worry about them going off against you.
Yeah,
and then you have a real point guard who can get Tatum and Brown the ball in the right spots, to where they're open and they can shoot more. And if Brogdon needs to get his because they're doubling one of the other guys, he can get his too. Yeah. So I don't think there's a reason for the Celtics to trade for him.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, if it's come trade deadline time and they're the 5th seed and they're not clicking like you thought they would at the start of the year, then that's the time to do it. But right now, there's no need for them to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Brogdon signing gives their team a whole different type of just another dimension to it, because Brogdon he's 6'5", so he can play the 1 and the 2, and then obviously you have Brown and Tatum, so you could roll out a starting lineup of Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, Grant Williams, and then Robert Williams, and that's a pretty solid starting 5. Or you could go small ball and put Smart in there.
You could, yeah.
So they have so many more rosters they could do with that signing, and I think adding KD would, obviously, KD is the biggest name on the market right now, but I feel like it could also hinder their chemistry, because they have to get rid of all their glue type guys like Williams and Pritchard and all those guys probably, which as a championship team I think they should just stick with where they're at right now.
Why mess with it?
I agree.
Yeah, why mess with it?
They got a team of young superstars, led them to the championship. Well, why mess with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason they lost. They still won 2 games. The only reason they lost is the Warriors.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's way more experienced than us too.
Yeah, exactly. It was the first time in the finals for most of Celtics players. And Curry's been there for the last 30 years.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So
KD's really good. Obviously, he's one of the best players skill wise of all time. But just why mess with what you have?
Yeah, the Celtics should not do anything.
They just don't need it.
They brought in Brogdon too, so he's already a new guy.
Well, it'd be like you said, they're giving up the glue of their team to bring in another superstar. You just don't need to.
A superstar that has been in the league for a while and hasn't proven himself to be a winner.
He hasn't.
That's true.
He has kind of proven to be destroy teams.
Yeah, exactly. Every team he's on, the team blows up.
Unless you have Curry and Klay Thompson.
Well,
and he was mad that he wasn't the big guy there, so he left.
But even when he left, they had those 2 years where they were really bad. But
they did.
Injuries.
KD is the biggest diva in all of sports. I will never be convinced.
And then Kyrie.
They're on the same team.
I liked KD when he played with the Warriors, obviously, and he is a great player. But I cannot stand him.
As
a person, I don't know him personally, so I'm just
From what you
But like from what I've read and heard and seen, it's like he's just such a diva.
I know.
Like
it's annoying.
why would you give up like the glue of your team that got and they're young and they got you to the championship for this 30 whatever year old diva who's never won a championship without Curry? Why?
The Nets aren't even going to be bad next year either. Like if KD comes back, they will be all right.
Yeah, they still have KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons.
Did they just pick up somebody? Somebody different?
I think so. I can't remember.
Probably they need a big.
Yeah.
So they probably got somebody big.
I don't remember.
But it'd be like they still are playoff contenders.
I mean, KD will get you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
he just won't get you any farther unless he's with Curry.
You just need a guy who can win in the playoffs, and he's proven not to be that guy.
And, Kyrie comes back, because I know we did sweep them, but if you look at the scores, they were so close each game. We only beat them the points wise, it was super close.
Yeah, and one of the games Tatum hit a game winner,
because it was overtime.
Yeah,
all of them were super close. Like if they come back and just try it again, him and Kyrie, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Plus,
Kyrie should play all season, right? Because he kind of fixed whatever the vaccine.
Yeah, well, the vaccine thing got taken away. So he's fine now.
That was just a weird situation.
And then Ben Simmons, I have no idea when that
Ben Simmons is going to have a breakout year.
You've said that for the last 2 years.
I know. When he starts to play, he will have a breakout year. I am very high on him.
You serious?
I'm very high on him.
I forgot about his own team.
Still on the bench.
The worst comes to worst, he's a guy who'll get KD open.
He could do that.
That's worst comes to worst. He's been an all-star every year he's played and been healthy.
I will just never forget his performance with the 76ers in the playoffs.
That playoff was bad.
Because all the fans got in his head.
God-awful.
All his fans got in his head. You know what I mean?
If you can't handle that, then what are you doing?
The fans did it for no reason. He was doing just fine.
Well, now he's going to have New York, though.
Yeah, New York's.
Yeah,
they've been used to KD being terrible, so I mean, I don't know what else they're gonna expect. But I do think the Heat is a interesting.
That is an intriguing.
It's very interesting to see what they could do there because they're always good because they have Jimmy Butler.
Have a good culture,
and he would be the superstar of that team probably.
Yeah,
that's what he wants.
The only thing though is what does Jimmy play?
Jimmy would probably play the 3, and then KD would play the 4.
Oh, I forgot he could play the 4. I forgot he was really tall.
Yeah.
And
then you think like the package, they'd have to probably give up Lowry for contract situations.
Yeah.
Hero, Robinson, and then I think they want Bam too. I think that was the reason why they hadn't pulled the trigger yet, is because they wanted Bam. But I don't know. I think because they have Ben Simmons, they can't get Bam because it's 2 rookie extensions.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurts them a little bit, but the main people would probably be like Tyler Hero and like Duncan Robinson and their other like younger dudes. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, I think the Heat have a strong enough culture to where if KD does go in and continues what he's been up to, like, it's not going to ruin them because they're still like a really solid team. And I feel like Jimmy would be a perfect guy to put next to him just because he doesn't take any crap. Like he's going to put KD in his place even if he's the best player in the world. Like, he doesn't take any crap.
He doesn't.
So then KD will just leave.
Well, then it's just being like a diva.
Yeah.
So he.
Yeah. So
what would the team look like if they did the Lowry deal? Who would be the point guard? Because you got to think when Lowry didn't play, Hero started.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. They might have to have somewhere like KD takes up the ball or something. I don't really know how that would.
Well, I don't even know who they have to play point guard.
Yeah.
They don't think they have like anybody.
They don't have super deep.
They don't have the best package. I don't think you'll go to the Heat because the package wise. I don't know why the Raptors are in this.
Wait, they got Oladipo still?
Oh, that's right.
Oladipo can play point guard.
Okay,
well,
he was doing good. That's towards the end of the year.
Well, the Raptors are in there because they could potentially give them like Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes. Like, they have young pieces that could entice the.
There's no reason for the Raptors to do that because they have nobody put around him.
I don't think he's gonna go to the Raptors. Like,
I
don't
know.
know.
I don't know if he will go to a team. I think he might have to stay.
I think he's gonna stay. I think he'll stay. So here's one. So this is a trade that somebody wrote up for the Heat. It was Lowry, Robinson, Hero, and 4 first-round picks for KD, which
Word.
I don't.
Way too much.
Yeah,
that is just
I don't.
not,
But I don't think the Nets are taking that though, because if you've heard some of the packages they've like offered, that's like really low for them. Like, they wanted like Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Jason Tatum, like Jaylen Brown. Like, they're like not getting.
Who is going to give them that?
I don't know.
Nobody's giving. No, I would not give them that.
What?
Well, okay, actually, you think about it. The Sixers, again, like I said, are in the win now mode.
Well,
So his first round picks
it's two swaps and then
Yeah.
2 future first round picks.
I mean, the
So
Sixers
they
are
could
probably
have
the most likely of like that.
The Sixers are the
They
only
have-
team I can see it even being a possibility.
Harden
Well,
and
other teams
KD
like-
have been training together like all summer.
Oh gosh.
It's just weird
Here we
because
go.
Harden requested to be
Here we
traded.
go.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
just think
I
it's
think
weird.
the reason he did it was because Kyrie. I don't think he had an issue with KD. It was just Kyrie. Not
Kyrie wasn't playing.
I know, but that was an issue for him.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I mean, he's
He
just
wanted
playing
to
because he
play.
didn't want to, or like he didn't want to get vaccinated. So like
Well,
that.
that's
That's the
hurt their
weirdest
play.
what
It
if
was
team
yeah.
ever.
It was just a weird.
It
That
really
was-
is.
They literally had.
But then you see
three-
like Harden like his first couple weeks was like flourishing in like Philadelphia. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
The Sixers is the only team I see it happening with.
Yeah.
The Celtics would be stupid to do it.
The
The
Celtics
Raptors have nobody around them, and the Heat wouldn't have a point guard if they did it. Hardly.
Yeah, that's
So-
right. Yeah, like you said, I don't think anything's gonna happen anytime soon. I think
because of how much the Nets are
They're
asking.
asking an
they're asking
egregious
prices way
price.
too high.
It's unreal. They
I
asked
think
for so
the
much.
best bet is like trade deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be
I
trade
agree.
deadline.
Yeah,
Unless the Nets have a good year.
yeah, but I mean,
Dude,
like,
they really could.
yeah, like we're thinking the Nets could have a good year, but like, what if KD just says I'm not gonna play and like holds out like Ben Simmons does? Then what do they do? Like they have to lower their price, right? You're not gonna cut.
You're gonna want something for him.
No,
I mean, I guess lowering the price would be taking that Sixers trade without the 4 picks. Like
They
maybe
should
like
lower the
2.
price in the first place.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and then
That's lowering the price is still
And
getting
then, I mean,
really good
Kyrie's
players.
still. I mean, I didn't. Kyrie said he'd play for them, right? But he still is like would rather get traded.
Yeah.
Kyrie's gonna be a Laker.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Laker.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a Laker.
Yeah, but I just like there is always that thing where KD could very easily just pull a Ben Simmons, sit out with multiple years left in his contract, and just wait for them to trade him. He very well.
You
could
see
do
how well
that.
that worked out for Ben Simmons.
Well, Ben Simmons, I mean, got traded to the Nets, which was pretty good, but
He left the Sixers.
Hasn't played because it just he's. I don't know.
He's having some issues. Okay, he's back. He's back.
Okay.
He had the little Kardashian curse, but he's fine now. All right.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Why are you high on this man?
He's a 6'10" point guard.
He's high on Ben Simmons and low on Nikola Jokic. I don't know. I can't explain
Ben Simmons is
that.
better than
I
Jokic.
can't explain.
Oh.
What? The?
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna
No,
say.
that's a joke. That's a joke.
What?
As of now, that's a joke.
As of
What?
now.
Well, just wait till the season Ben Simmons is about to have.
Ben Simmons is not going to win back-to-back MVPs.
Okay, well he shouldn't have either though.
Embiid should
Obviously, he should.
Embiid should have won.
Embiid should have won that.
He should have won.
But
that.
still,
Yeah. Can't you? But yeah, we'll see where the whole Nets situation. It's a complete mess.
It's a dumpster fire.
It
Yeah,
literally
it is a dumpster
It's
fire.
it's an unfortunate dumpster fire.
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
It's very.
It is very unfortunate.
It is but yeah, I mean, like KD's like halted the entire NBA. Like free agency was like super slow. Like after because everyone was like waiting for him to kind of come in. So there's still some like decent guys still out there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Colin Sexton's out there still, which
is,
surprises
Yeah,
me.
but he declined the Cavs trade or offer.
Oh, was it pretty
It
slow?
was like
It's gotta be low.
It was like
Except Garland.
4 years, $60 million.
I mean, he was really good.
I would give him that. I don't think he's a $100 million guy.
No.
The Heat were asking that for the Cavs?
The Cavs were asking that
Oh, the
for
Cavs
him.
were?
Yeah, because they have him unrestricted. And they gave him an offer and he declined it.
Oh.
So I think they just need to trade him. He's not going to be first trade.
Well, no, he's a free agent, I think.
He's restricted though. So,
So
and-
you-
he is
so
restricted.
if somebody does offer them, they can match it, but nobody's offered him. So
Oh,
they'll
okay.
probably go back on the qualifying offer, which is, I guess is fine.
Yeah. But I don't think he'll be a starter because of Garland. Because Garland is insane.
Oh, yeah,
Garland's
Garland's
nuts.
nasty.
Plus they have Karis LeVert too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I'm willing to get rid of Sexton because
And you can get something decent.
yeah,
for
because
Sexton.
he's a young guy and you can still get stuff for him.
Just a nice another role piece or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean the starting lineup's probably fine. Maybe just a better small
Yeah, like a
forward.
nice sixth man or something.
Mobley's nasty.
Because they have
He's gonna be
Mobley.
good. They
and
have
Allen.
Mobley
Dude,
being better
The
than
Cavs,
Garland
I think the
this year.
Cavs won the James Harden trade.
Oh yeah, the Cavs won that trade.
Like,
by
and
a
they were
lot.
just the throw-in third team, and they won it
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because they got an All-Star, and Harden played for the Nets for less than a year,
Yep.
and then the Nets have no future.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They don't.
So I think the Cavs won that trade.
They did.
I agree.
Moving on, we just talked about how we think Kyrie is going to be a Laker, but LeBron just had a big meeting with all of the general managers and management up there in LA. about his potential 2-year extension that was off that they were rumored to offer to keep him in LA for a couple more years. And some of the big things that came out of that was obviously that extension being discussed, and they said the AD was going to be the focal point of the offense. Which, if I'm correct, LeBron literally said when he got there the AD was the focal point of the team, right?
Yep.
And he hasn't. I don't know. Has he? I can't. I mean, maybe.
Well, he's
maybe
been
when
hurt so much.
Yeah,
He's always
but
on the bench.
I feel like we already knew that he was
Wearing
the focal
weird
point
outfits.
of the office.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of the offense, yeah. And then they also said that they're willing more now to trade the 2 first-round picks for Kyrie, which I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, I think they're right for that.
Yeah.
Because LeBron's old. Mm-hmm. AD, you don't know if he's gonna break his leg tomorrow or not. So you're gonna need to get players that can win now.
Why does every Los Angeles sports team just win now? Let's get a bunch of old guys.
Because they're in LA.
Yeah, because they
it worked for the Rams.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lakers won 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
People forget about that.
I think about that.
Yeah,
I think they need
to.
to re-sign Carmelo Anthony. I think is a big thing because he was really good off the bench, and they lost Malik Monk. Yeah. So he was really good off the bench.
They did lose
Which
him.
I think that's a big loss. I think that's way bigger than people
Yeah,
nobody's talking about that.
He was
Sack
killing
Nation,
it too.
baby.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Him and D Fox.
Yeah, him and
No,
D
that'll be a
Fox.
good team. But I also think the 2-year extension. Everybody's talking about how that's about Bronny. He was supposed to play with Bronny, but I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think the 2-year extension is, I'll take a 2-year extension if you get Kyrie. I think that's what that's about.
Very well could be.
Because he'll stay if they have Kyrie, because obviously they've already won a championship together with a team that shouldn't have won the championship. They were down 3-1 or whatever. That's right.
That is right.
That did happen.
That happened.
So they already have that chemistry. And LeBron is really old.
Yeah.
So
and him and Kyrie have become friends again. This last
they're
couple
good.
of years.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he's like, I will sign the 2-year deal if you get Kyrie, so we can play together for the next 2 years. And then after that, that's when Bronny will be in the NBA. So I think that's more what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think I can definitely see that as a possibility because he's been trying to get Kyrie there since the offseason really started, and the Lakers haven't been willing. But I think they should, like you said. LeBron's old, AD is injury prone. Their window's now.
Yeah,
and then and I mean the 2 first round picks is 2027 and 2029. Like you don't know that those players are even going to be good.
Yeah.
So I mean I don't know why they weren't doing it in the first place. But
were they giving up players in that trade as well?
I think they might have been giving up THT, but I think they
which he proved he was supposed to have a big year this past year, and he didn't really have a big one.
But I think they modified it to just Russ and 2 first round picks, and they'll take it.
Oh, see, I'm taking that deal. I forgot about Russ.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, there was also like a 3-team thing where like the
Russ
Jazz take
and
Russ.
KD.
And then like so nobody wants Russ, so they're trying to offload him.
Russ and KD in Brooklyn.
Yeah, and then Kyrie and
But Ben Simmons. How would that work out?
it would be the worst spacing team of all time.
Yeah, that team's just not good.
That's why I think that's why the Nets are trying, or we're trying to like explore like 3-team deals to like offload Russ, but still get the Lakers 2 picks. And so like there was something with like Donovan Mitchell where like Donovan Mitchell would go somewhere and then Russ would go somewhere. It was
that's what I was thinking.
the Nets don't want Russ, I don't think, but if I think they'll take it for their 2 first round picks. I don't know, but I think they want to. Best case scenario for them is they want to offload Russ
Because Ben and Russell would.
That would be the worst spacing team ever.
That would be the worst shooting team ever.
Yeah, exactly. Like KD would have to. It's just it'd be rough.
The only thing is who would be the Lakers team if they made that trade? Because
If they made the Kyrie trade,
so it'd be Kyrie,
So it'd be
LeBron,
Kyrie,
AD, and then they need to sign Carmelo, and they have
So they would
Austin
have-
Reeves, and then I have no idea who else is on their roster.
let me look up their
I mean,
roster.
It
everybody's
changes every week.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
actually
much
had a
like-
successful offseason, I think.
Chris Dunn, if he plays this year,
Yeah,
he's an ex-Golden Grizzly.
yeah, he has a golden.
He's a Golden Grizzly. But I mean, he's good. I mean, he could be a good backup point guard for Kyrie.
Yeah,
Because he was good
So
when
they
he
have-
was he.
He's a really good defender.
Yeah, so he's quality.
they got Lonnie Walker. It could potentially be
A
Austin
nice-
Reeves still. Then that's really it at like the 2. And if they keep THT, then he'd probably start. But I mean, they brought in like Toscano, Lonnie, Scottie Pippen Jr.
Scottie Pippen Jr. is an NBA player yet.
No, but he's Max Christie, Thomas Bryant, who could help him at center. Troy Brown Jr. is a young guy. I mean, It would really their team would just be Kyrie, LeBron, and AD.
Which I don't know if that can win that. I don't know if that can win them.
It all depends if AD plays a full season, maybe because when AD plays a full season, he's a top 5 player in the NBA.
Oh yeah.
And
he wasn't doing good though when he was back. I know he just come back through like 30 injuries,
but if he's like fully healthy and everything, then he's a really good player. And then I feel like LeBron would just take a step back. I mean, he would just kind of do what he was planning on doing and kind of just become more of a passer, like rebounder, not look to score as much. I don't think he would average like 30 a game like he did last year.
I think he'd have to.
But I mean, if you have a healthy Kyrie and Anthony Davis, he doesn't have to average 30 for them to like.
He has to be a 25+ scorer a game, in my opinion, because they have no other players to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, I mean they have better than they did last year. Their bench and like role players last year were terrible.
Well, it's the same guys besides Malik Monk.
Well, they have they got significantly younger,
which they needed
because last year
Dwight Howard,
like oldest team, or something.
Yeah,
they definitely the oldest team.
It was bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that'll be. I think they definitely should make the Kyrie trade because that will keep LeBron happy. That will get him to probably sign the extension. I think if Kyrie gets traded there the next day, LeBron will sign. I think it's gonna be that quick of a thing. Yeah. Like, but I don't know who's gonna put them all in the basket besides them three. Yeah. And even if they kept Russ and THT, I mean, like if they kept THT, maybe it'd be okay.
Yeah,
but they're not gonna be able to.
They really screwed up with that guy. They could have gotten Lowry for him. They could have gotten so many trades, but they're just holding him out, and he's done nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now they're gonna get Kyrie for him, which is
if they even include him in the package.
Yeah, I mean, but you gotta think if they get Kyrie, maybe you keep him, or you see what you can get for him.
Yeah.
Because what if they could get trade him for 2 role players, and then now you had an extra role player.
Yeah.
Like maybe a Duncan Robinson type guy. I don't know, because Duncan Robinson was not playing for the Heat. Like he got last second minutes.
He didn't play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
Doing really bad.
Yeah. So maybe they pick up Duncan Robinson because LeBron plays great with shooters. Obviously, you see how well Kyle Korver thrived and Ray Allen. I mean, so he plays really good with shooters. So if you can get Duncan Robinson, that'd be a great deal. I mean, I don't know. You just trade THT for Duncan Robinson and.
They'd have to probably give
some other guy
something else because Duncan's contract's pretty big.
He does have a big contract.
It's like 4 years, $50 million.
Yeah, he has a big contract.
Yeah.
So his is pretty big.
Well, they don't have. I mean, I guess they're paying 3 superstars. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, Duncan would be a perfect player to put because he's a guy that's kind of struggling lately, and I mean, if he turns it on, he's one of the best percentage 3-point shooters in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly.
He shot 40-something percent.
It was
his rookie year or something.
Yeah. And higher shooting percentage than Steph Curry. Now, obviously, didn't shoot as much, but still, it's really good.
Yeah. And then he kind of had a slump.
Curry's not good as you think. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, Seth Curry has a higher career 3-point percentage than Steph does.
I know that. Yeah. Probably doesn't shoot as much.
Well, and Steph's getting way harder defense.
Yeah.
He's getting doubled and the best defender, and the other Curry's kind of like a role guy, which he would not be bad to trade for either.
No, he would be really good with.
He's on the Nets too.
He'd be really good.
He is on the Nets. That's right.
He's on the Nets.
Maybe they could get. Oh, now we're talking. Kyrie and Curry for THT and first round picks in Westbrook.
That was what I originally thought they should do. Try to get
that's a trade.
Curry
or Ben Simmons. No, because LeBron loves him. LeBron was Ben Simmons' mentor.
They wouldn't get Kyrie and Ben Simmons though. They just have to get Ben Simmons.
Maybe the Nets.
But that's still a bad spacing team though, because LeBron's not an exceptional shooter, and neither is Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
you just have
Anthony Davis is center. Doesn't really matter.
You would just have a really tall team.
Who's scoring on? I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just kind of throwing that out.
But no, I originally when they were originally trying to get the Kyrie thing, that's what I thought. I was like, they should trade for Seth. Because Seth would be a perfect player to put around them. And plus, I feel like the Nets would probably be more willing to get rid of him just because he's a role player and not anything too crazy. So I think they would probably be more willing to get rid of him.
Yeah, Seth, he could be how he reminds me kind of when he gets hot. He reminds me of J.R. Smith when he was playing with LeBron. Mm-hmm. He could be like that same player.
I forgot about J.R.
Yeah, because J.R. he was he became so much better with LeBron.
Yeah, well he's out of the league without him.
He's playing golf. He's playing golf.
Oh yes, he's golf.
College golf. Yeah, that's great because then that's another shooter LeBron made good.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm the Lakers in any trade package, I'm trying to get shooters.
Yeah.
Because if you can get shooters, that gives you a couple more. I mean, that gives you 15, 20 more points a game. That can win you games.
Yeah.
So
3 ball.
yeah.
So what happened? So and let's say they Kyrie is still in the Nets and the Lakers don't make any more moves. Do you think they're still like a playoff team? Do you think let's just as the team stands where do you think they're going to end up
With Russ,
with Russ, AD, LeBron? Do you think they'll still make the playoffs? Do you think they'll still
same spot they were
they'll
last
be
year.
a play-in team?
Like the right next to the play-in spot.
I think the same thing. Yeah.
Because Russ is atrocious now, and they don't have besides. I mean, AD's probably gonna get hurt sometime. LeBron's old, and they literally have no bench. I mean, they're gonna put Scottie Pippen Jr.
You don't even think they'll make the playoffs?
I think
I
they
don't
can
think
crack
so,
the
yeah.
play-in.
Maybe the play
with LeBron,
Just
there's always
because
a
they
chance.
have
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean,
the rest of the team's god awful, but
Yeah,
So was that Cleveland team he took to the finals.
See, that's
That's
what
true.
you always think of, but that wasn't his prime.
That
He was
is
young.
true. He's
That's
like
in his
80
prime.
years old.
Yeah,
That's
now
true.
so he's been in the league longer than most
Yeah.
people are of age. Like he's
That's
probably been
true.
in the league longer than almost as much as how old Anthony Edwards is.
He played with.
It's true.
They had
People's
they
dads.
signed Sharif O'Neal for the summer league, and I mean LeBron played with Shaq.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
He's been in the league for a long time.
he's been in for what is this year
2003.
20? This is year
2003.
20. He's going into year 20.
Yeah. You look at that one team he brought to the finals.
Oh, his first finals.
Yeah.
Dude.
Even
That
2018,
roster.
the 2018 team was god awful
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was referring
Yeah.
to.
Like,
Well, I
both
mean,
of
he
those
had
teams
help
were
through the first
bad.
couple rounds. That was right before Kyrie and Love got hurt.
Yeah.
No,
Love got-
2018 was when Kyrie was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It was
Kyrie
just
was
him and
gone.
Kevin Love.
It was just him and Kevin.
It was him, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson. It was just
Jordan
So-
Clarkson
so
and
see-
George Hill and George Hill.
Yeah, but
George
see,
Hill.
George Hill and Jordan Clarkson are shooters, so that's why it worked
Yeah,
out well. Well, Jordan Clarkson more of a scorer, actually.
Yeah.
the team was still not
It
great.
was
That
bad.
was when they got swept that year, right?
Yes.
Didn't the Warriors sweep?
Well,
Because that was KD's first season. Or was that second season?
Second.
Yeah.
They swept.
Yeah, they swept.
That's-
There was no
or they
shot
won in
they
5 or
should've
something.
There was no reason they should have even been there.
No,
They were
exactly.
only
That's
there
why
because
I'm
of LeBron.
saying I don't know if I'm gonna say they won't even make the playoffs. Maybe play in.
That's true.
I mean, at least the play in, I would imagine.
Yeah. Speaking on
Now, they won't
2018,
win, but I don't know.
that 2018 series when they played the Celtics, I watched LeBron single-handedly beat us in 7 games
Yeah.
with that team.
That was Tatum's rookie year, right?
Tatum and Brown. Yeah, they had Tatum and Brown still. And who else did they have? They had
Because Tatum had a phenomenal playoff
yeah, he
series.
had a great series. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think that's
they
when they
still
kind of
ended
knew he was going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He single-handedly.
No, he
defeated them.
literally did. I
He
promise.
single-handedly defeated the Pacers and the Raptors for years,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm glad
I
that
feel
was-
bad for those fans,
No,
dude.
no, you remember the
John
Hawks?
has not
The Hawks
recovered
when they had
yet.
that really good year.
John will never recover.
Yeah, when the Hawks had that really good year,
Yeah.
and they got destroyed.
They were
Yeah.
the first. They were the first seed. Had 5 All-Stars, and ran into an
They
8-seeded LeBron and got swept.
Yeah. But, dude, that Hawks team was gross.
They
It
had
was
62 wins that
Prime
year.
Horford, Prime Corver, Prime
Prime-
T,
Uh,
Prime Millsap.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They were
Big Al.
really
They had
good.
Prime
They
Big
had
Al.
4
They,
All-Stars.
yeah, their starting lineup was all-stars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They were really
was.
good. Teague, not Master Teague, but Jeff Teague.
Jeff Teague, yeah.
So, that's a good point.
Yeah.
He's beaten a lot of teams. So, like you said, I mean, with LeBron, he could make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, it's never out of the question.
You can't.
And
doubt
but
It is a really bad thing. Russell Westbrook is terrible. What the heck happened to him? He
But
is
if you
awful.
think
Yeah, he's bad.
He is just bad at basketball.
yeah,
it. He is.
but it's just weird to think if I'm a new fan of basketball and I've watched in the NBA for 2 years, then this Russell Westbrook guy sucks, right? But you watch him 3 or 4 years later, he was 50+
Yeah,
triple doubles, breaking Oscar
what even happened?
Oscar Robertson's record. He was the guy.
He was the guy.
And now he's not, which I think has changed a lot of people's perspective on him. People don't know. Some people don't even think he's gonna make the Hall of Fame. I mean, they do literally.
Okay, that is
triple-double.
way
That is
overreaction.
crazy.
The most
Okay.
people have he's the most triple doubles in NBA history.
He's just
By a lot. Okay, the thing is what made him really good is how athletic he was. He was never a good shooter. He's never been a good shooter. He was just more athletic than everybody else, faster than everybody else, and so he was always above the rim. He was dunking on people and would always, and obviously he had 20 assists some games. So he wasn't a shooter type player. He's not like Curry, and I think everybody thinks he's like Curry. He's not gonna shoot like Curry. He has some really bad shots this past year.
He really did. Yeah.
Highlight
I think it
worthy.
was because he
bad.
was trying to be a shooter.
Exactly.
Yeah, LA. It's at LA.
It is.
It kind of got to him, I think.
I think he is like a small town market type of player, like Oklahoma City, where he could just be who he wanted to be.
And I mean, even when he went to like the Rockets, he did nothing. But he went to Washington, and he was really good with the Wizards.
He was really good with the Wizards.
Really good with the Wizards. But then, like with the Rockets, he was disappointing, and that's a bigger market. But then he went to the Rockets, played with Beal, and he did really well. Or the Wizards, and did really well.
Yeah, it's just people think that is outrageous to say he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. He in his prime. He was one of the most unique players of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
He was like a modern day Oscar Robertson, but scored way more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he didn't try to get triple doubles, he just would. You gotta think he was getting 20 rebounds a game as a 6'3".
That is crazy.
He made the triple double seem like, oh, that's just like everyday thing.
Right.
Like people don't overreact to triple doubles anymore. Like, LeBron got a triple double, that's cool.
Yeah.
He literally averaged a triple double 2 straight years.
Yeah.
He changed the way like people think of like triple doubles.
It's just so weird to see like that, and then now like a couple years later.
Yeah, we gotta think this Lakers team doesn't have scoring, so that's why he had to shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're on a team like Oklahoma City, they had James Harden come off the bench, they had KD.
Yeah, they had they had Paul George that one year too.
Exactly. Yeah, they had Paul George score.
His best seasons were like he was the guy, and then I think they still had Paul George.
I don't know if you'd say he was the guy. He needs.
Well, like when he was averaging triple doubles, they had already lost KD.
Yeah, they did.
So
he just needs a really good wing, like a Paul George, KD type player, to where like they can score and leave him more open.
Yeah.
So he needs a second superstar that's not LeBron, because LeBron's a superstar, but he's not the type of scorer.
He can't stretch the floor as well as like Paul George and KD.
Exactly. He needs someone who can stretch the floor better. Which I mean, LeBron, he can shoot okay. Like some games, he's really good at shooting.
He can shoot, but he's not super consistent.
Him and Russ don't work well together, which I thought they would but now that I see that, they both kind of play the same.
Yeah,
but LeBron shoots a little bit better. Yeah. They kind of play the same. They're both really athletic, and they're above the rim. Like you got to think every year, the people close to triple doubles is either Harden or LeBron, besides Westbrook.
Yeah.
So they kind of are the same. That's why it didn't work well in Houston either. Mm-hmm. You can't have two the time
for the ball.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You can't have two types of players like that. Russ needs the ball in his hands and able to dish to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
So that's why it won't work for the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Chase said. Like, the LA mindset has gotten like into his head. So like, because he's completely changed his game. I mean, he's still averaging triple doubles, but like he's not the
shooting
player he used to be.
Yeah, no. And he's older. Doesn't have the athletic ability he did.
32 now.
Yeah, he doesn't get as high up as he used to jumping.
I mean, it comes with age.
Yeah, so
it's like but it wasn't too long ago. He was on the Wizards. He was playing really good.
Yeah, like last year.
It was last year. Yeah, the year before the Lakers.
Last year, yeah.
And now nobody wants him. Like they can't even get rid of him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just shows you how like short of a career those guys could potentially have. Mm-hmm. Like just those like super athletic bounce guys. Mm-hmm. Like if they don't make changes to their game, they could be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying John Morant's doing what he's doing, like does what he does like the next like 10 years, and then he like gets old, and then saying, "Oh, he wasn't a Hall of Fame player." Like that's just not like you got to remember what he's doing now.
Those are like casual people that are probably saying that.
Yeah, whoever said that's just a Westbrook hater. He probably broke their heart.
I still remember that game when they played the Nuggets. And,
oh my word! He had a
50-point triple double, and that was when he broke the record, I think.
Yeah, he did.
It was. That's how he broke it.
I remember watching that game. I was like, dude, this guy is so good.
Yeah,
that was a crazy game.
And that's what you have to remember. You can't remember this past 1 year. Like it's been 1 year.
Yeah.
Like I said this in an earlier podcast. Like I think this past season like hampered a lot of people's like legacies. Like people think different of KD, Harden, Kyrie, LeBron, Westbrook. Yeah. Like people think way differently of them now than they thought about them 2 years ago.
Yeah, which is stupid because it's just because they've gotten older.
It's also recency bias.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you can't compare like LeBron to Tatum right now, because Tatum's in his prime. LeBron's like 15 years out of his prime or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there was at one point where all of those guys played on one team together, and that was the 2012 Olympic team. And recently, I don't know who sparked this or why it got sparked, but there's been a debate on who's better, that Redeem team or the Dream team. And I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. But before, I'll just list off the rosters for each team. So for the Dream Team, they had Christian Laettner, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Chris Mullins, Charles Barkley, and Magic Johnson. And our 2012 team had Tyson Chandler, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Darren Williams, Andre Iguodala, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Love, James Harden, Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, and Carmelo Anthony. First off, I don't think it's a question. I think we all.
Who came up with this debate?
I feel like we all agree that the Dream Team is better.
Well, yeah, that's why they're called the Dream Team.
They're called the Dream Team.
They're the best team ever put on a court.
Yeah.
But the 2012 team's not too shabby either.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Like that was all those guys in their primes too. Like Kyrie, Olympic Kyrie that year was filthy.
Yeah,
if you watch the practices, he was just destroying people.
Yeah, he was nasty.
Yeah.
Prime LeBron James. Yeah, so LeBron was 27, KD was 23, Westbrook was 23, Kobe was 33, Love was 23, Harden was 22, Chris Paul was 27, AD was 19, Melo 28. All of those guys are in their prime.
Well,
except maybe Kobe, but Kobe was still like really good.
Yeah.
You gotta think, in most people's view, it's MJ 1, LeBron 2, Kobe 3. So they had 2 of the 3 greatest players of all time.
They did.
So that does help with the kind of matchup type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously hard to compare like eras, and you can't compare them to like how they did against other teams because U.S. dominated both those years. I mean, they dominated every year except this past year.
Yeah, because international play's gotten a lot better
throughout
the years.
Yeah, but I mean, that's in the past like 3 or 4 years. Yeah. I mean, both these teams were unstoppable. Like it wasn't even close games.
No, there was a couple maybe, but they weren't super close. For the most part, they were blowouts. But what's crazy, I mean, is every single person on the Dream Team except Christian Laettner are all Hall of Famers.
So Isaiah Thomas didn't make the team because of MJ. That's right.
Yeah, that's what they talked about last time. He was super upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, they all. And I think Christian Laettner was just in there because of his name. Like he's just a big name guy.
They always put one college guy in there. That's why like AD's in there because he was like the stud, and so he was like the stud from Duke.
Yeah.
And so they put him in there.
Yeah, I don't think most of the guys on that other team will be
Hall of Famers. Durant, LeBron, Westbrook, Kobe, Love, Harden, Chris Paul, Melo, and AD are probably all Hall of Famers too.
Yeah, well, and you got the only reason the reason the Dream Team's better, I'd say, just because their chemistry was just way better than Now's team. You know what I mean? You can compare teams all you want, and they're gonna compare really close of like how good the players were. Because I mean, you've got LeBron, MJ, Kobe. Like Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, all those guys. Like you had it's gonna be comparable teams because I mean it's literally like basically the bet the all-star teams combined into one team.
Yeah, so the best players the game's ever seen.
Yeah, so I mean they're gonna compare like basketball-wise close, but the chemistry-wise I think is why the Dream Team's way better.
Yeah, I mean we saw that like watching The Last Dance when they had that where they would show like the practices and stuff and how competitive like the Dream Team practices would be. Like they were out to like get each other, but also to like make each other better, so they wouldn't like disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
So they were
there to win.
Yeah, they were 100% there to win. Which I'm assuming the 2012 team was there too. But
and they had Kobe, who has that kind of mindset.
Oh, he does.
You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I just think the Dream Team's better.
Yeah. So it says here for the 2012 team, the initial 20 finalists were announced in January 2012. In addition to I think Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin. Players withdrew due to injury were Chris Bosh, LaMarcus Aldridge, Derrick Rose, Chauncey Billups, D Wade, Dwight Howard, and Andrew Bynum. So those are some pretty big names that potentially could have been on that team, which might have helped them a little bit. But I still think it's hands down the Dream Team. They're just all that team was just all so good.
That was also like the first year. Right, it was like one of the first years the U.S. was in it, right?
Well, the U.S. had been in it before, but they were real. Yeah, they didn't allow NBA players, and when they did, they weren't like very
good ones. Yeah,
and then that was the first year that they were like really good.
And that's one reason why you just can't go against them.
So here's their 6 games. So they played Cuba the first game. They won 136-57.
That's 80 points.
79 point differential. Then the second game was against Canada, 105-61, 44-point differential. Panama. I don't know. Never heard of it.
Panama.
I read that wrong. Sorry. They won 112-52, so they beat them by 60. Then they played Argentina, won 128-87, won by 41. Then they played Puerto Rico, 118-81, won by 38. Then the gold medal game against Venezuela was 127-80, won by 47.
Jeez, this is unreal.
There wasn't a single close game.
They scored 100 points in every single game.
The only argument you have for this year's team though is, like teams like from other like countries and stuff like that. They have like Giannis and Rudy Gobert. So I mean, when you play Greece, you have the Antetokounmpo brothers, all three of them. Like, I guarantee you, Greece had nobody near that level of a team. So I'd like to see like maybe like who the Venezuela team. Nobody. I mean, I don't know if any. Like,
I think the hardest team they played was no. I remember they lost a scrimmage game to like Croatia, or because Tony Kukoc like went off, and they were like super upset about that. And so then they came out and just wrecked everybody else.
Yeah.
But in 2012, if you look here, their first game they played the Dominican Republic, they won 113-59. Then they played Brazil, 180-69. Then they played Great Britain, won 118-78. But then they played Argentina, and they won 86-80. But on Argentina, they had Luis Scola and Manu Ginobili. So that team wasn't too shabby.
I mean, but
like when
we had an all-star, the best all-star team.
But then they played Spain with both Gasol brothers and won 100-78. So like you could like most of the people like Al Horford played for the DR team. Anderson Varejao played for Brazil. That's not very good. And then Loel Deng played for the Britain team. Argentina had Ginobili and Scola, and then Spain had both Gasol brothers. So those guys are.
I mean, Spain is though like with the Gasol brothers. That was in their prime, and they were both really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a deep.
The competition was probably a little bit better, but
the
dream team
was winning by 80.
Not
9.
The closest anybody got was 38 points.
Yeah, they were dominant. Yeah, like that team wasn't dominant. Like they were really good and they like won, and it really wasn't that much of a contest. Yeah, maybe for like 1 or 2 games, but the dream team was just like dominant. Like not one game was close. Like I bet after the halftime, like you knew every game they were gonna win.
Yeah,
before the first quarter,
not just warm ups, layup lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like especially with like the dream team, just being like a player playing for any of those teams, and just seeing like the best players in the world on one team, and you're just like, I'm gonna get destroyed.
Like coming off the bench, you had like Karl Malone or Patrick Ewing, like coming off the bench.
You're just like, I'm just gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't do anything about that.
But like both of those teams, like influenced the game so much. Like international ball, like you said, Giannis. Like international ball is so much better now.
So much better.
And like the U.S. doesn't. The U.S. doesn't run it anymore. Yeah. Like Luka goes nuts. Giannis, what he had, like 56, 20, and like 9 blocks the other day.
Yeah,
playing for Greece, and it's the NBA is so international now that the teams are so much better. Like Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, and all those guys are all. Does Embiid play for the U.S. team or does he play for the other team? Does he play for wherever he's from?
Isn't he from like Uganda or something like that?
He's from those African.
Yeah, I don't think he plays in them. Yeah, if I'm the 76ers, I'm not letting him play in there. He gets hurt enough in the NBA. He doesn't need to pull a Paul George.
Yeah. But also, our last time that the U.S. played in the Olympics, like, their team wasn't that great.
No, dude.
Because nobody wanted to play for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they weren't as good as they could have been, but they still should blow teams out of the water.
They should, yeah.
They're literally, like, the best. It's literally the best NBA team. Like, I don't know. I think this past year.
Hasn't Luka been going off, too?
Yeah, Luka's crazy.
He's averaging, like 50?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then Giannis.
Well, he's like one of the best scorers in the NBA, so obviously he's going to be good against random, like, Croatian dudes. Like, playing Croatia professional basketball, just like, so he's obviously going to score way more.
Yeah.
But actually, he said it was easier to score in the NBA.
Yeah, he did.
He did say that. So I don't know.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, so, either way, it's just unreal. But the dream team. I don't think whoever said that.
I'd like to see who made this argument.
That was not a good argument. Like I can see like some of the players you're saying.
On paper, maybe it's a bit closer.
On paper it's closer, but if you look at the scores, it is a Nick take.
That's a Nick or Doucette take.
Yeah.
But I mean, something that's also kind of been happening. I mean, we were talking about just like players just going off, like. The only thing that's really been happening is these NBA players playing these like pro-am games. like LeBron played in the Drew League. That was a big deal.
Kuzma had
Kuzma.
Peyton Pritchard had 92 in one game.
Yeah,
The backup point guard for the Celtics.
Malachi Flynn had 70 back-to-back games, and then
Kuzma looked like LeBron.
I know.
He almost had a triple-double with 67 or
But
something
what's
like that.
hilarious is the Paolo and DeJounte Murray beef.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was so funny. And DeJounte was just clowning people. He threw a ball off the dude's head and he made him look silly.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing that I've seen from that is the New York Knicks. They Obi Toppin, it was Obi, Jalen Brunson. I think either Quickly or one of those guys. They played,
And Julius Randle.
yeah, they played on one of those those pro-am teams and they lost.
4 of the starters for the Knicks and they lost.
They lost to dudes who have work jobs.
They work at 9 to 6.
Yes,
9 to
they
5.
And they lost to them.
The Knicks are awful.
So everyone's like, bro, the Knicks are so screwed.
That's insane.
Yeah, that
They
I would
need
be
to
so
delete that franchise.
embarrassed
Yeah.
if I was one of them. I'd be
Those
like, bro,
dudes
dude.
work 9 to 5.
That franchise needs to be deleted.
Not only did they lose, they lost by 13. They got low key blown out.
Yeah.
The team
That's
had
so-
didn't-
Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and Obi Toppin. Literally, their 3 best players, and they lost by 13 to guys who play. They work at 9 to 5.
5-year,
Yeah,
$100
$100 million
contract just for the dudes.
He's getting paid $100 million. He lost
So
to those
funny.
guys.
I am shocked. What?
I mean, what did
That's like a disgrace.
I am speechless.
that's awful.
That is terrible.
Yeah. So if you're a Knicks fan,
Yeah.
don't be a New York sports fan other than a baseball fan.
That's literally what we've been talking about this whole podcast.
gosh.
Just leave your franchise.
Giants. We talked about
Jets?
we talked about it last
We
podcast.
bashed the
So
we
awful.
bashed the Giants so hard.
Jets.
They're terrible. No, they're bad. They have not yet to prove they're good.
They're
The
still
only
bad.
good part about them is their jerseys.
Brooklyn
The
Nets,
Knicks
like we've said, they're just in a
The
dumpster
Nets are just
fire.
an unfortunate dumpster fire.
And the Knicks lost to a bunch of random dudes.
Yeah. Now baseball,
So
they're
bad.
going off.
No, the baseball
they
teams. Actually, the Yankees are on like a 9-game losing streak or something like that.
That's true.
They're
But
good.
still,
But they're still like the best team in
At
baseball.
least it's on a 20-game losing streak.
At least they're
Yeah,
not
it's-
working from 9 to 5 random dudes.
And losing to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be unimaginably rough.
That's so bad.
Yeah, that would be really bad. Yeah, what do you guys think? Like more NBA players should play in those like pro-am games? Because I feel like this summer a lot of people have played in them more than like we've seen in recent past. I know DeJounte Murray tweeted something about that. He was like like NBA players should want to play in these games, so like because people that can't buy tickets can still play them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I mean,
You just
gotta worry about
you don't
injuries.
Want, you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
they don't really try.
Yeah, they don't really
I mean,
try.
LeBron won.
Clearly.
LeBron.
I mean, maybe they maybe they should.
Maybe they should.
What,
It's
LeBron
embarrassing.
had like 48 points and the other one by like 2 points.
Yeah, I know.
But
That-
it was like the biggest event this summer. Like everybody was there.
yeah, I mean, I do like the point where they can go, like people who can't pay for tickets, or maybe it's closer, or
Yeah.
that type of thing, and it's a different atmosphere. You get to see them like more close up. Like if you go to watch them in the stadium, and the closest seat is still like really far away. If you go and watch them in a high school, like you're like on the court basically.
Pretty much.
Like if you saw like people were like on the court.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's cool. And obviously you got to worry about the injuries, and it also keeps them in basketball shape, not like playing like right when the season starts. I don't know. I
It
think
is
it's good.
cool. You would just hate for one of those top players to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only top player to really play in one is LeBron.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma's like,
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard
LeBron-
scored 92, but he's back up.
LeBron and DeMar.
Yeah.
DeMar,
DeMar.
yeah, they're on the same team.
Drew League DeMar is nuts though.
Yeah, he's
yeah.
nice.
Well,
And then
this
everyone.
past year, DeMar was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Everybody
was.
After that, everyone was saying like LeBron come to the Bulls, dude. Like DeMar. I mean,
Yeah.
Connor Fry.
Connor was saying
Yeah,
that.
it's just Connor
100%.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if he wants LeBron. He probably
probably
doesn't.
doesn't.
He probably doesn't. He's like, we'll give you Vooch for LeBron.
Probably because
straight up.
LeBron has hit like 3-game winners on him to beat Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Again, another franchise LeBron is just dismantled.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the like pro-am games, like you remember like Denzel Valentine when he got destroyed by that one guy.
Yeah.
And Connor was talking about that with me the other day. He's like, I thought Valentine was the next LeBron.
Dude, yeah. He said Valentine's next LeBron. I was like, bro.
That's just a
I was like, that might be the worst take I ever heard.
like that's
so
just like
insane.
giving your hopes up to like nothing.
Oh, do you want to hear another bad take, Weave?
Let's see it.
I sent it to you, but I want to get your two reaction. So there was this dude on a podcast, and they were talking about like Patrick Mahomes, and he said that Patrick Mahomes, if he retired today, would not be a Hall of Famer. and the guy was like, Patrick Mahomes is the Luka Doncic of the NBA or of the NFL. Basically, he's won a Super Bowl, been to 2 straight, and won an MVP. Like, what the heck are you saying? I just want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
That guy,
Very bad.
He was in genuine shock when that.
Oh yeah, he was like.
I mean, I was too.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was in shock when I watched it.
I don't know. I was. That is just bad.
Are you really going to say that Patrick Mahomes is not a Hall of Famer if he retired tomorrow?
Dude,
He's played for like 4 years. He's played for like 4 years.
Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP. What? Two-time AFC
more
champion.
in his career than like Matthew
50
Stafford.
touchdowns.
He'll be a Hall of Famer. Everybody gets in the Hall of Fame.
The one dude was trying to say that Matthew Stafford would be a Hall of Famer and that Patrick Mahomes is not.
That's bad. That's bad.
That's so bad.
They both are Hall of Famers.
It was the same guy that said that.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Well, no, he reiterated it. He said that he didn't think that Patrick Mahomes would be first ballot, but he was still wrong. I think Patrick Mahomes probably still will be first ballot.
Oh, he will be. He will be a Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt.
Like, you can't tell the sport of football without him.
I mean, Calvin Johnson retired at 30 and was immediately put in.
Okay, he had three corners guarding him on play.
I know, but he never won a Super Bowl. Or he never did the same
played for the Detroit Lions.
I know. I'm just saying.
The Detroit Lions. They haven't won more than 4 games in a year in like 15 years.
I'm just saying that Patrick Mahomes, like, his accolades are better than half the people in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he does stuff that we've never seen either.
Yeah, within 4 or 5 years, and he is undoubtedly a top 3 quarterback in the NFL today.
Undoubtedly, I don't disagree with any of this. I'm just saying he's only played for like 4 years.
Okay,
so what if he
he
never makes another? This will never happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But what if he never makes another Pro Bowl? Has like Jameis Winston type numbers of 30-30, and just lives out the rest of his career like that? Is he still a Hall of Famer? Because he had 4 good years.
That's a good point, actually.
That's
that's assuming he just completely tarnishes his record with god awful play.
But no, we're saying if he were to just say I'm never going to play football again tomorrow, he would be in the Hall of Fame in like 3 years.
Yeah, because anybody decently good makes the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
No, the Hall of Fame, the
Pro Football Hall of Fame.
It's different than the basketball.
It's different than basketball because
basketball everybody gets in. If you average more than 10, Draymond Green's gonna be a Hall of Famer, and that is terrible. I will still fight for that.
Yeah, we're just bringing up old takes now.
The Football Hall of Fame is pretty tough.
It's
but Patrick
tough.
Mahomes even still deserves
but
it.
yeah, he has more accolades than like. You're right. He does have a lot more accolades than
3
like
straight AFC championships, right?
He's been to 3
4
straight.
3 straight.
4.
4? Yeah, 4 straight.
Yeah, I mean,
every year he has been a starter in the NFL, which is 4 of the 5 years he has been to the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
2 of them he's won to the Super Bowl.
Well, he's won
one of them he's won, and he was an MVP of the NFL through 50 touchdowns. If he retires tomorrow, yes, he's in the Hall of Fame. Now, if he plays the next 15 years and just sucks balls out of nowhere, then I mean maybe not. But
I don't know. I guess now that you explain it more, he's a Hall of Famer if he retired, and even if he does play bad. Still, if you just go by the first 4 years,
he would have to really suck.
He would.
Yeah, like he would have to put up Jameis Winston numbers, which is bad.
But that's not going to happen though. Like,
it's still 30 touchdowns a year.
He had a down year last year, and he still was ridiculous.
He still wants the AFC Championship. Beat the Bills.
Yeah, I know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I guess that's an awful take. I take that. That is an awful take.
That's
a really bad take.
I'm glad we agree now.
Yes. I gotta think about it for a second.
But looking over at Lucas, he was like thinking.
You were considering this, and I'm like,
well, I had to think. I didn't remember like every single thing.
His thought process was that he hasn't played very long. But I still,
which I mean, I agree with. He's only played 5 years.
And I do not agree with Luka Doncic, and that is just not true. We've made it to like the second round. That's it.
Well, like talent-wise, like
talent-wise,
excitement-wise.
Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes has also won.
Patrick Mahomes is way more exciting.
Luka Doncic, if he retires, is not a Hall of Famer.
No,
but if Patrick Mahomes, yes.
But
Luka,
but what was even crazier?
He
will. Yeah. But like that guy was saying, he put like Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford.
He already has a better record than Matt Ryan
and Matthew Stafford.
Okay, all right. Why is
Matthew Stafford again was on the Lions?
No. Matthew Stafford.
Okay, but we forget he played with some good teams. Like he had Calvin Johnson for his entire career.
Okay, but
games where they should have made the playoffs, but they didn't.
Why is Matt maybe I just don't remember when he was in his prime. Besides the year they went to the Super Bowl, but why is he a Hall of Famer?
Matthew Stafford?
No, Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
They
were always good. The Falcons were always good. Him and Julio and number Devontae Freeman, right?
You think Cam Newton's going to the Hall of Fame?
No.
Yeah, that's what
He's won a Super Bowl.
Well, I know.
He made it to a Super Bowl.
No, I know, but I said Matt Ryan.
Like, why?
I said, why is Matt Ryan why do people consider him to be a Hall of Fame lock? And Evan said because he was an MVP, and I said, well, do you think Cam Newton is going to be a Hall of Famer? I mean, he was an MVP.
I mean, they both had
Matt Ryan was better for longer,
but they both had an MVP season and then
didn't
win the playoffs or didn't win the Super Bowl.
I'm just like, I mean, Matt Ryan, he was an MVP quarterback.
He'll get in, but he won't be like first ballot. He'll be like this year's class where it was like
Matt Ryan is going to get in a very long time into the future because why do people why is he even considered a lock?
Well, he was a Pro Bowler for 7 or 8 straight years.
I mean, yeah,
and that's pretty good. And he made the Super Bowl and they lost to the greatest quarterback of literally all time.
20.
But I mean, they were up a lot.
He won't be like
he'll get in, but it'll be a while.
Yeah,
I'm just that was kind of
nowhere near first
that was
ballot.
one of those guys had said Matt Ryan's a lock, but he said Patrick Mahomes is not, and I'm like,
that's terrible.
I said, why is Matt Ryan why is Matt Ryan a lock?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, that's a really good question. The Cam Newton comp is really good too. He was just better than Cam Newton for longer. Yeah. Cam Newton is just really exciting.
Cam Newton literally had one good year, and he's not even in the NFL now.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what happened last year when he was. I mean, one of the Panthers scored 1 touchdown and said he was back. And he was atrocious. No, you're not. Cut your hair and start working. Still got
He needs to get himself a job.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get back in the NFL. But
I mean, he's got great work ethic, but he's just
Yeah, he does, and it is weird because he is very talented, and he does have a. I mean, he's kind of. It seems like he has a good work ethic, but it's just not working anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like Westbrook, like we talked. Like Westbrook's style of play is different, and Cam Newton was one of the first running quarterbacks.
Yeah, you got to think running quarterbacks' careers are very short.
Yeah, which is why I've always been not super high on Lamar as the franchise guy. Because, Lamar has been in the league, 4 years now?
Yeah, and he won his MVP, and now he's hurt a lot. So that's what usually happens. Usually happens Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, all those guys. They have really good first 3 years because if you could play like that,
they take the league over.
If you could have that athleticism,
how do we guard this guy?
Yeah, if you could have that athleticism for 10+ years, but you just can't in football. You just get hit so much, and you can't be a running back and a quarterback.
That's why I'm not people John or what is it, Jim.
John
one
Harbaugh.
of the two Harbaughs, whichever one it is, John Harbaugh. Yeah. He's people say, oh yeah, he's a great coach and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, he is, but
he took Joe Flacco.
But the offense that he runs is not
they won the Super Bowl.
The offense that he runs just doesn't work for NFL quarterbacks. Because
won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco.
He did?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
How long has he been with the
a long time. He beat Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, never mind. You're right.
Yep.
Well, I'm just the offense.
I agree.
The offense that he's running right now
is better for Joe Flacco than Lamar Jackson.
No, it's better for Lamar.
I'm just saying it's not better for
because they're a super run.
You got to change your offense for the type of player you have. You can't run the same offense as Joe Flacco than you do with Lamar Jackson.
No,
That's why their backup was a worse Lamar Jackson.
He's saying his coaching style will help the reason that Lamar could have a short career because he runs the ball every play.
Yeah, but Lamar Jackson is not an insanely good passer.
No. And that's the other reason.
He's good.
I think he gets the job done passing wise, but he does not
But the reason that guys are more open because he can run.
Yeah, the reason Lamar Jackson is so good is because he runs so well.
True.
And that's not going to be able to be sustained.
No,
a long term. Because when you say, oh yeah, he's my franchise quarterback, you think of a guy like Herbert or Burrow or Brady who's going to play there for 15, 20 years, and he's that guy.
He is. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is not going to do that because he physically won't be able to.
Exactly.
Well, that's what makes Mahomes special because he can.
Mahomes
he's a smart runner.
They don't do that.
No, I know, but he's shown that he can play in the pocket, and he's very good outside of the pocket.
That's what makes him insane.
I consider Mahomes
he's
to be
a pocket passer.
It's a pocket passer that can play like Lamar Jackson if it's forced.
No, what I'm saying, I consider Mahomes to be more along the lines, in like the category of like Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
where they're a great
yeah.
great scrambler.
That's what I was saying.
Not spectacular runner.
Yeah.
Because like
They can make plays
the
outside of
Chiefs
the
are
pocket.
not going to do design runs
No,
with Patrick
I wasn't
Mahomes.
saying
No.
except for the occasional like read option play.
Yeah.
But like
Every team runs that.
yeah, but like the Chiefs are not going to line up and run QB power, QB counter, like sweep like
No.
the Ravens do. It's like that's
No.
just not like with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a great athlete and he's fast.
Yeah.
but that's not what they're.
Well, what makes him so good is that he plays like Tom Brady, but like when say the line gets like blown up or something like that,
plays.
he extends the plays. He can. I mean, usually the lane's open to run. He'll get you 10, 15 yards on a run.
Oh, yeah,
Or
for
he'll
sure, yeah.
roll out, throw crossbody across the field,
Yeah.
and right in the
No,
basket.
Patrick Mahomes is probably the best like quarterback at extending plays.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
And I'm not saying he can't run. He absolutely can run. It's just
Yeah.
that they aren't going to do like the Ravens.
No, that'd be stupid.
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
stupid.
what- yeah.
Because the reason the Ravens have to do that is because Lamar Jackson is nowhere near the level of thrower
exactly.
as Patrick
Absolutely
Mahomes
not.
is.
And that's like if Lamar Jackson at least had like a good arm, I would say, oh, maybe he can more transition to a passing quarterback and he can stay there longer, but he just doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, Chase, you're a Cowboys fan. Let's make your case for the Cowboys this year because we already gave our thoughts on the Cowboys.
The up and coming season, like
yeah,
what I
this
think.
stuff.
Yeah, this fall.
We last podcast we gave
Yeah,
our thoughts.
yeah. So, as a Cowboys fan, I'm hoping to just get past the first round, and I think this year we will get past the first round.
This is the year.
I say that every year,
Every Cowboys
and I am
fan says
exactly
every year.
I'm like them. But we did get Anthony Barr. He's gonna add to the defense.
That was a good
Our
sign.
defense, okay. Our players on roster are insane. Our coaching is awful.
Yes.
Absolutely horrible. Like PIs killed us last year, and I do think we are not going to be like, I don't know, like insanely better than last year. I think we're going to be pretty close, but we're gonna make it past the first round. I do think that. Yeah. Losing Amari Cooper.
I think that's a reasonable take.
Well,
Yeah.
because their division is a
okay.
cakewalk.
That is true.
Besides for the Eagles. Besides for the Eagles. Besides for the Eagles.
I don't know. I still think we're going to take care of the Eagles.
I think it's
He didn't guarantee a Super Bowl win. That's
No.
yeah,
that's
no,
a
that,
step.
We're not
that
winning the Super
would
Bowl
be
this year.
That's a step up
outrageous.
for most Cowboys
But,
fans.
yeah.
The thing I have to say with the Cowboys, because I was not in the last podcast, so let me give my
No,
Cowboys
yeah, you
take.
can give your spiel. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you're. I was just saying that because your team's like
Yeah.
our teams.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
probably
We
all
have,
Well, this is what I would say to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is really good.
think- Yes.
So they have no QB problems there. They have a pretty good line, right?
Yeah.
Right? They have a good line.
Yep.
They have CeeDee Lamb.
Yep.
But the problem is, and Dalton Schultz, a
Dalton
great tight
Schultz.
end. The problem is they're missing that wide receiver too. I mean, because they lost Amari Cooper. That's huge. That's gonna be way bigger than everybody thinks.
Gallup will
Bad.
come
Michael
back.
Gallup.
But he's coming off an
he's coming off-
ACL.
Yeah,
Or
you just never
Oh,
know.
that's right.
We need.
And-
Yeah.
Zeke is not gonna
Yes.
be good.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Zeke?
Okay, so
I'm
Zeke-
really glad I have Pollard.
Yes, Pollard is a stud. Like watching him I watched every single Cowboys game. So watching him, he is like electric. Like when he gets the ball, he just takes off, and he'll get way more yards than Zeke. He's way faster than Zeke. He's not as big as Zeke. Like he can't like shed many tackles, but
Yeah.
not many dudes. Like he's juking dudes out way
Yeah.
more than Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Pollard's time is this year. Like I think they need to make the move to like make him that RB1.
The only issue is that the Cowboys have so much money in
Yes.
Ezekiel Elliott,
Yeah,
they
and-
do
well,
that.
Yeah, well, they try to play like screen passes with Zeke.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
a
the type
screen
of guy.
pass with Pollard is nasty. He looks
Like
like
Pollard,
Eckler.
Pollard,
Yeah.
Pollard
He looks
is
like
like
Eckler.
I think and I love Zeke because I mean he was an Ohio State guy, he was awesome, but
Won us a championship.
Yeah.
but like I do think Pollard is the guy.
I think
Because
they need to
Zeke has
split it.
Zeke has consistently
Yeah.
proven over the
Yeah.
past couple of years that he's just not going to get it done.
Okay, this is what I
And
think.
Pollard, when he has got in, has.
This is what I think. I think that they're gonna. What they should do is they should do the goal line type of running with Zeke and the get the ball up the field type of running with Pollard. Because Pollard won't be like a goal line, run power, get through the line, and
Yeah,
score
he's
type of
not
guy. Zeke is ginormous.
Yeah, he's
right. He's huge
huge.
now. So you run. Oh crap! You run him. And you get Pollard. You're gonna get Pollard, get him down the field, and then once you get to like the 20, put in Zeke, and then when Pollard gets tired, I mean, you can give Zeke a driver too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still good enough to do that.
No, for
but I think
sure.
they need to make Pollard the RB1. I agree with that because
Pollard is
he can catch, he
Yeah.
can run.
Yes.
Yes.
So-
he can run.
Because like you said, he's electrically fast. And
He
you
is.
can,
He's
so
really fast.
I think that they need to make him the RB1 and reduce Zeke's carries to closer to the goal line, kind of stuff him in the end zone
Pollard-
type of guy. Because
Pollard-
Pollard is good.
Yeah, he brings like a whole other element to the offense.
But like
which
you
is
said,
better.
they have a lot of money in Zeke, and they better not. If they were smart, if they want to win, they would do that. But if they're gonna be stubborn with their money and be like, "Oh, well, we have money in this guy, so we have to play him," then they're gonna lose. And then if they want to make Cowboys fans happy, then they would put a Pollard in.
Yeah.
Literally everybody is saying like it's
everybody
Pollard's time.
sees it.
Like everybody sees that.
Even if
It's
you're
just-
not a Cowboys fan, you see it.
Yeah, it's just that they just have such a heavy investment into Zeke. Like they're just wasting their money at that point. You know.
I think the best that they could do is they could do what you said, just put him on the goal line. But if they do think like we paid this guy a lot of money, we have to play him. I think they should split the carries like 50-50.
It needs to be at least
just-
split. Carry.
Yeah.
And then if Pollard does end up being as electrifying as he was the past couple years, then like slightly put him higher.
60-40, 70-30.
So
Yeah.
more Pollard.
And then
the newer like better running backs are all like extremely quick. Besides Derrick Henry,
Yeah,
he's
and their
just
pass
a-
catchers.
He's
too.
different. He is
Him and
completely
Zeke are
different.
different.
Yeah, Henry.
And they can
Derrick
catch the
Henry
ball.
is a freak nature, right? So like you think of like JT, he can get the screen pass, he can get passes, he's super good runner, and like not many teams are doing what the Titans do. They just give the ball to him every single time.
The Colts
Yeah.
do that though. I mean,
Yeah, they're-
The
Jonathan-
Colts,
really
they
Jonathan
do that.
Taylor
Yeah,
is
they
like
do.
But
a
Taylor,
workhorse tank, but
He
he
is.
also
but he
is like,
can
but
catch
he's
a little bit.
different.
he has like
Yeah.
more elements in his like,
Yeah.
game.
That's what
Besides
makes him
that.
so good.
Yeah, and the
because
Colts-
he has that just like Henry does, but he also has more.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, he's not as big as Henry, so he can still get yards in the
Yeah.
power, or you
Yeah.
can throw it to him and he can get you
and it's
yards
still
there too.
shifty.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor is awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, no, he's ridiculously good.
he's good. The Colts don't have really like good receivers. They have,
No,
like,
that's the thing.
same with the
Pittman's the wide
who
receiver
Titans
one.
have?
The,
AJ Brown.
the Titans wide receiver
Yeah.
one is a
They got
rookie
AJ Brown.
right now.
Is-
Well, no, he traded him.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
The
it's
Titans wide
Robert-
receiver one is a rookie.
yeah.
And Robert
so they
Woods.
kinda
Who is
have
coming off
to.
an ACL injury.
They kind of have to run the ball
Yeah.
with those guys.
But the Cowboys,
The
they
Cowboys
have,
don't have to.
like CD, who I think should have another breakout
CD.
year.
Yeah.
They have Gallup, who we'll see how he comes back, and
They have
then
Dalton Schultz, like you
Dalton
said.
Schultz.
Dalton
Schultz.
Schultz is a stud.
So,
stud.
they're better than I thought they'd be.
The Cowboys on paper are like
really good.
Yeah.
Like he said, dude, their coaching staff is
It's
bad.
gross.
It is the worst.
I think it's a reasonable take to have them making it into the second round of the playoffs, but I
They
don't
definitely
see them
should
making
with their
any-
division, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my word, they should have 4 easy wins with the Giants and the Redskins. I mean, that's
Yes.
4 walk-through wins.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
15,
see
20
the.
wins. What's what they did last year?
Yeah, they did.
They did
I
that
don't
last
see
year.
They
them
did
going
last year.
past the second round though.
No, I don't.
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they could pull off like maybe a Bengals type run. I could see a Bengals type of run out of them. Where
They
have
certainly
the
have the
quarterback.
talent.
They have the talent to do that, and like you said, their defense. They got. I cannot believe they got Barr. That's
Yeah,
an unreal
yeah,
size.
and
And
they
they,
have
already have
Parsons.
Trayvon Diggs is
Yeah.
overrated though.
Parsons.
He is.
Yeah,
Trayvon Diggs is
what do
terrible.
you
He's a
think
wide
of
receiver.
Trayvon?
He is.
Trayvon Diggs is legitimately a
Yeah,
wide
he's.
receiver.
At first, I was hyped because like
I mean, I was
he
too.
looked. I don't know, like him jumping this passes. I was
Yeah.
like, this dude's nasty. And
Yeah.
then like I actually started watching him. Like,
He
this
is
guy's
nasty.
not
He's
that
a
good.
nasty receiver.
Yeah, he's a nasty receiver.
If they need help with the wide receivers, maybe throw him out there.
One thing I think is going to hurt you
Actually
guys
do that, dude.
is you guys lost Cedric Wilson to the Dolphins.
Yeah,
I
He did.
really liked him as like
was
a wide
really
receiver, as like
good.
wide
Cedric
receiver
Wilson was a
3
stud.
or
Yes.
2. I really,
really good.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But
Cedric
I
Wilson- He
but
was
I
a
watched
really
him a
good
lot
receiver.
last year when I watched Cowboys games, and he was really good. And I was kind of disappointed that you guys didn't.
Yeah,
try to
every time I watched
re-sign
the
him.
Cowboys, he had a really good game.
Yeah, but didn't Trayvon Diggs? Didn't he go to Bama for being a receiver?
I think so.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
converted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
So
a
he
receiver.
could play receiver.
Yeah, he was a
I've said they
receiver.
should make the switch.
Dude, they should. His brother, Stephon Diggs,
Oh, his brother is
a
Stephon
top
Diggs, yeah.
10 receiver in the NFL. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll
It's
see how
just-
they do.
I think it's just mostly coaching.
Yeah, I
Like
would
we
agree.
should have beat the Niners last year.
Yeah, you
Yes.
just
We-
did a
that was
QB.
terrible.
You just did a QB snap.
okay,
for a
but
second.
also in the 49ers' defense, though, the Niners went to the NFC Championship.
They did.
They beat the Packers.
But if they
So
went
That was
more-
crazy.
But if
Yeah,
they
I
went
mean, the Niners are
morons,
pretty dang
didn't
good.
QB sneak
know.
the ball with 12 seconds left, they probably could have had a shot.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it's not like the Cowboys lost to a slouch team that should
Yeah.
not have beat there. Like, no, the 49ers had just as good of a shot at beating the Cowboys as anyone else.
100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Cowboys were foolish, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, they kept Kellen Moore though, right?
I don't think he's bad.
Yeah, I don't think he left.
The OC. Yeah, because he was
No.
thinking.
Yeah, no, he didn't leave.
They're thinking
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I don't think he's bad.
No, he's really good.
Yeah, I think
He could. I was saying if they should fire McCarthy, make him the head coach.
Make him head coach.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Whoever was making the decisions for those play calls at the end of the game is the one that. Well, and it's just like the undisciplinedness too. I guess all the pass interferences and stuff. It's just
So bad. Yeah.
and that does fall on the head coach.
Yeah.
like Clemson's doing that with they're having their cornerbacks use boxing gloves so they can't hold. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So like that's smart.
That is actually.
I mean that's the type of discipline they need.
Yeah,
you can't have a coach just be like, we won't do that in game. Well, yes, you will.
Yeah.
Yes, you will.
Come game time. It'll happen in game time. If it happens in practice,
We
it'll
know.
happen. Yeah, trust me. Yeah.
Oh, he's held a lot. I don't hold that much.
You should have used boxing gloves.
I should have used boxing gloves.
Weaver, what do you think about the Bengals this year?
Oh man, we've talked about this.
Yeah. What did you say? Super Bowl run?
Huh?
Yeah. Every podcast he manages to slip in. He slips in Bengals hype, Mac Jones slander,
And Herbert.
and Herbert
Burrow.
and Herbert Burrow debate.
It's just like
You still go with Burrow, right?
yeah.
Don't
get him
I'm
started.
I'm not gonna get started.
But every podcast is one of those three.
Okay.
I want everyone to know, though, I don't hate Justin Herbert. He is awesome. He's a great quarterback, okay? Just so everyone's clear. All right? He's awesome. I love him. Okay. I'm not going to get started, though.
He has the Bengals going back to the Super Bowl.
No, I don't have that. I
Super
have him
Bowl
11-6,
Yeah.
which is one game better than last year.
You have him go back to AFC, though, right? AFC.
Yeah, I have him in the AFC Championship, which that even might be a little bit far, but
It's just so good. That's problem.
I mean, that's the only reason why. But I mean, you have to think these guys brought everybody back except for Ogunjobi and Bates, and they got better through the draft defensively. And
Their offensive line is just unreal.
And
now.
their offensive-
Or compared to their old team,
their
it's
offensive
unreal.
line on paper
They can
has-
block somebody.
it's so
Isaiah
smart.
Prince is not playing.
I know.
They
That's
still
what I'm
need to
saying.
cut him, though.
He needs to be cut, but at least he's not like a starter.
I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like
Should've.
in like on paper they fixed their only issue. So like, why are people like not putting them in the Super Bowl conversation still? But
They're definitely a Super Bowl conversation team. You can never predict the Super Bowl though.
They're
I
still
know,
they're
but it's
still
just
they're
like- but, like-
contenders still. They're not gonna like go back to
They're contenders for a while.
being like a bad average team. They're gonna be an
No,
above
they're
average
gonna
team.
be a
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna
Like-
be a playoff caliber team.
I'm just saying like.
But are they
people-
gonna repeat as Super Bowl champions? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, they didn't win it.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like people like say it's like, oh, like legitimate Super Bowl contenders this year are like the Bills, the Bucks, the Rams, and the Chargers, and it's like, why are the
Chargers
Bengals?
didn't make the playoffs. They
Why-
picked up nobody.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Bengals made the
It's
Super
like,
Bowl.
why are the
So put the at least put the Bengals. If you're gonna put the Chargers in there, put the Bengals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are the Bengals not even in this? Like,
Yeah.
like on paper they fixed their only hole. Like, why are people not putting them back in the Super Bowl conversation?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't know.
I think the playoff conversation, like that's a given. Like, oh yeah, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs for a lot of years now down the road, like you said. But it's like, why are they not in the Super Bowl conversation this year? Like, I don't know. We'll see, though.
I think AFC Championship.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess.
I think the Bills
Yeah.
are gross.
The Bills are
Bills are
nasty.
nasty.
Making back-to-back Super Bowls is hard to do.
No, I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
it's hard
they
for
have
any
they
team,
have the team to
for
do
sure.
it, but it's just hard to do, no
It
matter
is,
what
it
team
is
you
hard
have.
to do. I mean, hey, the Bills made 4 straight though. They lost all 4 of them, but they made 4 straight.
That's why, like, if the Bills win the Super Bowl, I'm not mad.
No, I wouldn't be mad either.
I'm not, if we lose to the Bills, I'm not gonna be like, okay, like that's a team that, like, if we lost to, like okay, like they're
Well,
really good.
It was like the Rams. I mean, I wasn't ready to kill myself after losing to them. Like, man, they're a good football team. I mean,
The Rams got Bobby Wagner.
yeah, I mean they're
They did lose Vaughn, though. Vaughn's on the
They
Bills.
did, but Bobby Wagner.
but like,
And it's just like the same thing.
yeah, it's the same.
but yeah, I mean like they're a good football team. They were a win now mode.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford deserved
I
it.
also
Cooper
think
Kupp.
that
I mean,
it helped that the Bengals were also competitive. Like, it's not like we got
Like,
to
it
the
was a
Super
close
Bowl
game.
and then got destroyed.
They
Like,
should have won.
They
that
should
game.
have won.
They should have won.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I will see. I guess those are my thoughts.
So
on
we
the
we have
Bengals.
both of our teams winning the division,
Okay.
which is
There you go.
not biased, I promise.
No, it's legit.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I think 11-6 for the Cowboys and the Bengals
Yeah.
is a very legit record. 11-6, AFC champions, NFC playoffs. That's legit. I feel like.
Yeah.
It is different though because our league is so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
it
NFC
a
is
lot
like not even
worse.
close to the same power.
I wish it was like the Browns were bad still, and like so we could like at least maybe walk through it a little bit easier because like
don't have
besides
to go-
the
but
Steelers,
here's
that's true. We don't have to go through the Steelers.
Well, but like the thing you have to think about though is that like if the Bengals do return to the Super Bowl this year, they had to go through a gauntlet of teams.
Oh yeah,
to get
whoever
there.
makes the AFC, whoever makes out of the AFC is probably gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, unless
the Rams. The Rams are the only team. That
I'm
you
not saying the
don't
Rams. I'm saying the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah.
Bucks are still good.
Except
are good.
if the Bucks do not make the Super Bowl, whoever wins the AFC is, in my mind, probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Why not the Rams? They literally lost nobody.
The Rams.
It could be the Rams. I'm just saying
Rams
that
and Bucks are the two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah,
they
and
are.
They're
They
the
are.
only two teams that can compete with the NFC. Be the AFC.
Yeah, I'm just
They're
saying.
both AFC.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like the Rams are more beatable than the Bucks because the Bucks have Brady, and we have learned over the past 22 years, you just don't count out Tom
He
Brady.
looks old though.
And Julio.
I
don't
don't
the
care
first
how
year
old
he
is.
looks old.
He's insane.
I don't care if he's wrinkle, and I don't care. He's still a good quarterback.
They got Julio too now.
Yeah, they did get Julio.
He's old too.
He's old.
Yeah,
but
Julio. Yeah.
I feel like they're
Somehow
starting
Brady
to
makes
become
those
like
dudes
LeBron's
super
teams
good,
where they
so,
get a bunch of old.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like the only reason I'm saying the Bucks over the Rams is just because I feel like the Bucks have Tom Brady.
Yeah,
And, like, the Rams, and like in my mind, the Rams are still a beatable team. Like the Rams, like they have a lot of good players, but they are not an invincible.
they have a quarterback problem right now.
Yeah,
Stafford's injury could be
it's
amazing.
Zobo injury, Yeah,
People,
and also
they should freak out more than like people are right now. That's a serious
issue
because he's literally like that's bad. It's bad.
well, and I think the other reason I think that is because the Rams had their super team this year, and they, like you said, they brought everybody back, and honestly, they should have lost the Super Bowl still. So like,
We'll see. I'm excited for the NFL season and the NBA to start because I haven't had any basketball in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, but
Anything else for you, man?
I think we're good.
Chase, thanks for coming on.
thank you for inviting me.
All right, that'll wrap it up for today. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed, and follow us on all of our social medias. And have a good rest of your day. See you guys.
Cut Isaiah Prince.
Thanks. Cut Isaiah Prince.
Cut Isaiah Prince.
Hey.